not just power, not just state power. They've captured almost all the institutions, all the organs of state power, who have essentially also captured the ruling part, because it is a mistake to view ZANU-PF as a civilian political party. It is itself captured by the same securocrats who have captured ZEC, who have captured the court. So this is a humongous problem. So once you realize that this is the nature of the problem, unfortunately, I don't have the time to go into many details. Then you ask yourself, how do you mitigate against such a humongous problem? A failure to have an independent ZEC as provided by the Constitution, the capture of ZEC itself, and other civilian institutions by the military establishment. You begin to see it in the voter registration exercise. The manipulation of the voter registration exercise, which should have been done last year, which was then postponed to this year. And when it was done this year, it was made to coincide with by-elections in order to confuse, in order to make it impossible to be effective. So we understand all of these things. And we have all sorts of strategies around them on what to do in terms of what to do around achieving some electoral reform before 2023, in ensuring, for instance, that as many young people as possible do register, so that the majority of people who go to vote are the people who have a stake in the future. Not us, the older generation who are in the evenings of our life. But most importantly, you ensure that we invest a great deal in the in polling agents. Let me put it to that. I do not want again, and you didn't ask me to go into some of these details. But at the end of the day, if you have ears and eyes at every polling station, you have capacity to do your parallel tabulation. At the end of the day, the referee might be biased, but if you have your eyes everywhere, you are able to say the result here was this, the voting was done this way. You have your job half done. And then you have an electorate which is a vested interest in the future. You have young people who have registered. You have young people who are taking their future in their own hands. If you can get this right, we believe that we will have the job half done. But some of the details, obviously, they can't be discussed in a forum such as this. But we understand the nature of the problem. We understand the nature of the beast. And I hope we have the skills, we have the courage to do the things that ought to be done. And we are not going to have an independence, right? We are not going to have an administration of elections which is completely divorced from the military before 2023. So what we then need to do is to have the capacity, the understanding, the will, the commitment to overwhelm the system. That at the end of the day, the sheer numbers of citizens who want to change, who work for change, who vote are such that the election becomes unriggable, even with a biased referee. So that is what we understand is the task at hand. And I pray, I hope, but above all, we plan to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Ncube. So I'll take the next set of questions, and then BK, I'll come back to you so that you can tell us where we are with the fundraising.
Yeah, briefly, it's just $100 to go. So please, we just need 10 people to hit our goal. Thank you very much. 10 people, $100. Thank you. Go ahead, Ned.
Thank you so much. If we can go to so Charles Ndaba Thabo. So Charles Ndaba Thabo. And again, please, before you speak, just make it clear whether it's a question or a general comment.
Thank you so much, host and co-host. Mine is a question to Professor Wolfman Ncube. And please accept my apology if I ask something that has already been asked. I've been on this space since the last 25 minutes. My question goes, yesterday, Professor, we saw one of the Zimbabwean citizens exercising her rights by endorsing Ccc and President Nelson Chamisa. There is absolutely nothing wrong in that. Any citizen can do that. However, my view is the person is not just an ordinary person. She's a president of a party. So I don't know what is the sorry, there's an echo. So
go ahead, Charles, with the question, please.
Okay, so my question is, what is the leadership position in terms of that? If you can't go into detail, please, can you just give us a guarantee that leaders are speaking with the same voice in terms of this going forward? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Charles. I think I will just say that this question was addressed before, but I will let Professor comment on it at the end. But just to summarize, Professor's views was we shouldn't focus on personalities, and that we're all citizens, and if there's a shared goal, that's what we need to focus on. And in terms of leaders speaking with the same voice, there was assurance given in that area. But I just wanted to kind of summarize that it saves Professor time in terms of going back into that detail. But we'll just move on to Ndaba and Thabo, and then I'll let the professor decide if he wants to expound further on what he had said previously. So Ndaba,
thank you so much. Thank you so much, and please accept my apology. I didn't know it was already.
There is absolutely no need to apologize. I was just summarizing in the interest of time. Okay, Ndaba, Thabo, and then we'll pass on to the professor. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much once again to PK, Nats, and everyone for this platform. My question is to the Prof as well. I know you're dealing with many external issues, but this is with regards probably to an internal issue which affects us as residents of Ward 3. Our councillor, who was elected, we understand is suspended, but we're not too sure what is going on with the courts, whether he still stands as our councillor. But regardless, this issue is we have not seen him on the ground since 2018, and we are sort of left orphaned when it comes to issues of development. And we're wondering, do you not have any sort of policies in place of recall, where maybe this candidate may be recalled and we have by-elections within our ward, so we can select someone at least for the next few months who will be dedicated to our community. Thank you very much.
Sorry, which Ward 3? I'm talking of Ward 3 in Bulawayo.
My apologies. Ward 3 in Bulawayo, sir. Ward 3 in Bulawayo.
Very well.
Thabo, please go ahead. Thabo, are you there? Okay, looks like okay, so Professor, over to you. The question from Ndaba, and if you would like to comment on Charles' question about recent events.
Thank you very much. Let's just deal with the last question first, because it wasn't dealt with before or wasn't asked before. What train Bulawayo is the word where the deputy mayor was by I think it was Justice Madiwa of the election of the councillor for Ward 3 on the basis of some criminal case conviction. So that effectively sort of in court suspended the councillor. But he then appealed against that determination of the High Court to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court basically quashed his criminal conviction, which basically meant that at the time of the election and after, he had no criminal record, because the effect of quashing a criminal conviction is to cancel it as if it never existed. This would have meant that he would then have been automatically reinstated to his position, at the very least as councillor, if not also as deputy mayor. However, what then happened while his appeal was pending in the Supreme Court, he was then recalled by the FDCT as reconstituted by the Supreme Court. The legal question which then arose was it competent to recall someone at a time when, in effect, he was already not a councillor by virtue of the High Court ruling? And this is the current state of affairs, which led to the councillor then making another application to court, which removed that seat from the by-election. So the net result, the net effect of all of this is that there is now a pending court case which will determine whether or not the initial recall was valid, whether or not a person who was in the position of the councillor, given the then pending court cases, could be recalled. So if you believe in the rule of law, you will then have to say, let those judicial processes be exhausted before we get to whether that councillor is re-elected or another one is elected afresh. But everyone has an entitlement to exhaust their judicial remedies, and hopefully those judicial remedies will be fair to all the parties involved, and the councillor in particular. So it could be that the courts are yet to rule that he was not properly recalled, which means that he has been councillor all along, which means that there is no vacancy. But in the meantime, from a resident's point of view, my understanding of council regulations, practices and procedures is that a neighboring councillor is then seconded to the council or to the ward where there's a vacancy. So there shouldn't be too much of a problem if the system works as it is intended to work, because then I believe either the councillor for Ward 4 or the councillor for Ward 2 becomes the temporary councillor in that ward. That's the legal position. I'm sorry that the residents of Mahachula and Kumalowe Ward 3 is obviously have been underrepresented. But let's also remember that the politics post the Supreme Court judgment, which reconstituted the MTC, has been politics of disruption. Virtually every how of ZANU-PF here has been to disrupt, so that you can safely say the years 2018 to 2023 are lost years in every respect, not just in 1 to 3, because ZANU-PF, the military which kept ZANU-PF, decided that it was going to play disruptive politics in the hope that that disruptive politics will destroy, in particular, Nelson Chamisa, will destroy the leadership of the people, which was then under the MTC Alliance, now under Ccc. It didn't work. It didn't work, and obviously I want to believe they regret that their strategy didn't work, and in fact backfired on them. So that's my rather longish answer to that question. We got back to the question which was asked, perhaps with a different the thrust that the host has not already summarized in terms of the answer I initially gave is the aspect about whether leadership is one on this issue. I can assure you, every organization has one center of power. The center of power is the president's office, and in this case is Nelson Chamisa. Every person who has some modicum of understanding of political processes should understand that there is nothing of the sort like conversations around other political leaders that can take place first without the authority of that center of power. There are no conversations such as the ones we are talking of, which will take place without the direct participation of the president. There are things that will hardly ever be put in the political arena. But be rest assured that they always guide. The president will always make the final call at the end of the day. So the things we say when we say we're a new party, when we say we are a party of all citizens, that all citizens are welcome as long as they are not coming to seek positions, as long as they are coming to assist, to put their shoulder on the wheel, to fight together with other citizens in order to overwhelm the authoritarian dictatorship. All of that, we take that, what I say on the authority of the president, on the guidance of the president, because this is the thrust that the new party has taken. The president has lectured us again and again and again. When you are dealing with an authoritarian regime, a single political party is not adequate to overwhelm. Look at the revolutions in Egypt, go anywhere in the world. Ultimately, it is citizens coming together, not a political party, not even a group of political parties. It is citizens coming together. And the political party plays the leading role. But you must go beyond membership of the political party. You must go beyond supporters of the political party. You must ultimately build a movement of all citizens working together. And this is the guidance that the president has provided. Don't come to Ccc if you are looking for a position. Don't come to us if you are hunting to go to council, you are going to go to parliament, or to hold some position in the party. Come to Ccc if what you want is to work with other citizens in order to create a movement that will overwhelm the authoritarian regime. So I hope you understand the import, the essence of what I'm saying. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you for taking the time to thoroughly answer both questions. Just to refresh the room, thank you to everyone that has recently joined. We are speaking to Professor Ncube about CCC, the coming by-elections, and the role that the diaspora can play. We are also fundraising for some candidates that will be participating in the upcoming by-elections. Just to say that we will be closing this space at the top of the hour. So in 13 minutes, we've had the professor's time for well over an hour. I'm sure almost 2 hours at this point, and we're so thankful. But it's time to wind down. So I will encourage all of you to, if you just have general comments, please do tweet. Use the hashtag that we have in this space, Prof Ncube on CCC. You can tag the host, tag CCC Diaspora as well, and tag the professor with any sort of general comments, so that we can spend most of our time answering any valuable questions. So we'll just move on to questions now. We'll do it in this order. Thabo, Kumbulani, and Thabo Kumbulani and Phil Toyup. Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Thabo, please unmute.
Thank you very much. Salwanani Mthwakazi and salwanani my citizens and everybody else that is on the space. Hayi lami ngiyajabula kakhulu ukuba khona lapha namhla. Ngibonga ukuba lo Ncube sithola i-chance njengoba umfowethu echilo, getting the opportunity to speak to the big guns ezasemhlubulweni wethu owangakithi elizweni laseZimbabwe. Now I've got a few probably one or couple of questions for Professor Ncube. Ugo mentioned earlier ngendaba importance of building our institutions by ECCC. Now, the thing that just shoots out of my mind, my institutions, especially our Zimbabwe. Right now, our institutions, our Zimbabwe, they are infested with Ishona supremacy. They are infested with the tribalism. What is the CCC going to do to redress the issue? Looking at the whether the education system, whether it is the hospitals, whether it is the border posts, the human resources that is there. What is going to be done with all that human resources that has displaced people from the region since 1980 and probably before, but most importantly, 1980 until now. And then also, Thabo,
sorry, we've got 11 minutes left. I think.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Just hang on to your speaker panel, and then I'll come back to you if you still have got time. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Thabo. Kumbulani, your question.
Good evening, everyone. So I've got it's a question, more of a question than a comment to Professor Ncube. How about the party sets up something that I can call the anti-rigging unit, which is a full-time unit that will put together or come up with, like, I can call them simulations of all possible rigging situations and scenarios, and devise mechanisms to counter that, like a full-time unit. Like a party will have a mobilizing, organizing intelligence unit, but this, I'll call it the ARU, the anti-rigging unit, that deals with possible rigging situations and counter them. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumbulani. Epidu, Phil Toyup. Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Please unmute.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much. Good PK, Osisnati, Malaika, Diva, CC Diaspora. Good evening to the Honorable VP, Ubabu Ncube, to the incoming members of Parliament, which we are going to vote next week, who were recalled. Good evening to those who are still in Parliament, to the incoming councillors, and our councillors. Yes,
You don't have
yes.
to recognize everybody.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go quick. First, Vice President is. I have a question. My question is, Ccc entsha, are we going to have one Vice President and one President? That's my question. It's simple. Thank you very much.
Can you kindly repeat your question? The professor disconnected, please, again.
Umbuzo wami uthi kule-CC entsha sizoba yini nomongameli oyedwa nosekela mongameli oyedwa yini? Yabonga.
All right, thank you. So over to the professor to answer the set of questions that we had.
Thank you very much, host. Let me answer them from back to front. The simple one, will you have one president and one vice president? I hope so. I hope that will be the case. But the process of writing the constitution of the new party is in progress. That constitution will have to be adopted at the inaugural Congress. So at the moment, we don't have that constitution. At the moment, no decision has been made, which is why I'm saying personally, I hope we will get that to that position which is very simple. You just have a president, you have the president's deputy. But the short answer is that we don't know yet, and obviously your own input is important. We are all citizens. We are all those who will be members and will join. You will having the new constitution and ultimately of adopting that constitution. So angikabi lo lwazi lwakhona ukuthi kuzaba lo president oyi-one lo vice president oyi-one kodwa ngilethemba ukuthi or ngilesifisa ukuthi kungaba njalo, but obviously the membership iyo eza faka isinqumo lapho. Then the Mickey question on an anti-rigging unit is a question, but essentially it is a suggestion and an idea, which I think is a good idea. Currently, Esilako Iguti, we have Ellen and Ian. Ellen Shiriedenga, who is a Ulayo girl, and a very experienced old hand, Ian Makone, who are working on this aspect of the party, the elections directorate. They obviously have an important department within the elections directorate which deals with the issue of anti-rigging. The voter registration department, anti-rigging department, etc. But I understand your suggestion couched in the form of a question, and we'll clearly take it up to see whether or not it's not going to help us a lot to have a standalone unit in the manner in which you have suggested. So let me take that as a suggestion, a good suggestion. Then the first question is a fundamental position in a conversation such as this one. But again, as Daniel in his presentation pointed out, if you go back and listen to what President Chamisa said in Bulawayo, at the Bulawayo rally, you go back and listen to what he said in Tsholotsho a week later. He was making fundamental policy announcements on that question you raised. He spoke specifically. It makes no sense to have nurses in Tsholotsho, nurses in Lupane, who cannot speak the local language to the old women, the old men, who will be requiring treatment there. It makes no sense to have a policeman somewhere in Binga who is going to be fighting crime, who is going to getting report to locals, many of whom will not be able to speak English, to have a conversation with a police officer who is not from the community, who does not understand the language. So he spoke a lot about the importance of making sure that there's devolution of power, that communities which have elephants, he used that example, communities which have had timber, that these communities are able to harness their resources to use them in the first instance before these resources benefit the wider nation. So there was a lot of pregnant meaning in this thing. And as Daniel says, go back to YouTube and listen to this. So we obviously will be keen to address many of these things to ensure that state institutions, quasi-state institutions, policy position. This next. I really recommend to all of us to just, when you have time, go back and play that from YouTube because it speaks a lot. And as I said, it even spoke about the and President Chamisa spoke about recognizing these cultural, these traditional institutions that we had, and that people should be free to reconstitute their history. And I think there's a great deal of clarity there. And I think it should assure us as Mthwakazians, it should assure us that Ccc is with us, is embedded in the communities that we belong to, and that we should feel at home in Ccc, and that we should make Ccc our home, and that we should always feed into its policies, its trust, and this direction. Because if it ceases to represent us, then it cannot be for us. So we must always ensure that the party represents us. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. We are now at the top of the hour. So Tawi and Mgcini, I will ask you to make this a very quick, no more than a minute between the both of you. Tawi, Mgcini. Tawi, are you there? Can you unmute? No, Mgcini?
Just very quickly. Greetings. But I just wanted to find out, there is an issue of the military. I don't know how the CC is handling it, or how is it preparing for it, because I don't know whether ZANU-PF will give power. And then another issue is the SADC issue. How is the Ccc? Is there any consultation with the SADC regarding the coming election, seeing what's happening currently, and historically understanding what happened before, so that we don't find ourselves back to square one again, like what happened twice in the elections? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mgcini. Mthulisa, I can see you've got your hand up. Please make it very brief, no more than 15 seconds.
Yeah, I just want to Prof nice around the Aplapana, just briefly, now that he is aware, the ruling party is not following the constitution. What is the gain then in all this that we are doing? We are also aware that the current CCC is yet to craft a constitution. So what is the whole game in this whole thing? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So that's all the questions for today. Thank you so much. Prof, over to you.
Utawi net. Yeah, were you there?
I asked him, he did not. We don't have time. So we're just going to ask the professor to answer the two questions.
Thank you very much. Let me also be very brief. SADC always work in progress, and we have an excellent secretary, interim secretary for international relations in the form of Gladys Sajwa. Very competent, very focused, very informed, and she's working very well in that. SADC, of course, has its limitations, but it is always work in progress. You ask on the military again. In almost all of the rallies that we have had, President Chamisa has spoken with clarity on this. The soldiers are for us. The police are for us. The CIOs are for us. What you need is to change the head, and uses umzekeliso ukuthi uyabekhuluma ngesishona ukuthi uyagela inwele kodwa ikhanda liyabe kulokho kunjani kulikhanda. So what you need is a new policy thrust, a new framework for allowed to do their job in terms of the national constitution. All of this, listen to what President Chamisa has been saying on this, how the Ccc will handle this, the military issue. So I thank you very much for having me today, and really have had a great time in having this conversation, and I hope we have raised or reached our target for the fundraising, and I pray that we all continue to assist the 4 constituencies that we're targeting tonight, and that we do all we can in the remaining few days to ensure that everything goes well for our 4 candidates in the 4 constituencies. Thank you very much, host. Thank you very much, co-host, and thank you very much, citizens of Mthwakazi who have participated in this debate. It's been my pleasure to spend this evening with you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ncube Siyabonga. Thank you so much for your time. And we apologize for going slightly over, but we hope you've enjoyed this as much as we have. Before we close the space, BK, I'll hand over to you. If you could just let us know where we are with the fundraising, what the next steps are, and we'll close this space soon.
Thank you, Nat. So for the first fundraiser, we raised, I think it was $1,500, $1,518, and currently we're sitting on 82% of $500, which is $410. So we're just short of 10 donations. That's gonna be 9 people. $90 is what we're short of, and the funds are gonna be transferred to Ugucaca Ivumile Pulu tomorrow. And then he's the candidate from Kulumane, and then he'll make sure that the other 3 candidates get their share of the funds.
Thank you so much, BK. And thank you to everyone that has donated, that has retweeted. And it's really important for us to fund our democracy, because we need our candidates to be able to pay for essentials and to be able to campaign effectively. So thank you. So I think this brings our conversation to an end. Particularly want to thank Professor Ncube again. Professor Ncube, you are free to disconnect, to log off. Appreciate that it's late your time, so we thank you for your time, and thank you to everyone for joining. BK, I don't know if you want to keep the space going for people that may want to reflect, but I guess the formal part of this space is over.
Yeah, so it's essentially what you want to say for me to people in this space. And thank you very much to Professor Ncube for coming through, and Honorable Mologele for coming through as well. I've worked with you, Honorable Mologele, from the start about this. And what we're trying to do, I mean, is people from Mthwakazi who are in the diaspora, is to have a voice so that we can influence the processes within CCC. It's been, I know, you go to South Africa, you go to the UK, you go to Europe, you go to US, you try to engage somebody from Matabeleland about Zim politics. Most often than not, they'll be very dismissive because of how Zimbabwean politics have obtained and how Matabeles have been treated in Zimbabwe. We can be some can be ignorant about it, and some can want to gaslight. But the truth of the matter is, Matabeleland has got a strained relationship with Zimbabwe, and that's the entire Zimbabwe question. So, but what we want to do is to organize, to mobilize people who are in the diaspora, to talk to all the people in the diaspora from Matabeleland, so that we can say, look, CCC is building something new. Chamisa has come through and saying he's listening to us. The party structures we've had Mologele in this space, we've had Apolo in this space. Now we have Professor Ncube, and they've also clarified that the grievances of Matabeleland need to be heard and to be addressed. So we need to be in there to continue holding them accountable, holding ourselves accountable, to be able to enforce change as far as Zimbabwe is concerned in regard to Matabeleland. And what's also important is this: the enemy is ZANU-PF. Let's deal with ZANU-PF first, get ZANU-PF out of power, and then expand the democratic space in Zimbabwe, and then we can start having a lot of academic debates about Zimbabwe. So that's my fervent wish, and I hope we come together and figure things out. So the other the people in this space, you can DM me or follow me, and within a week or so, we'll probably be setting up a WhatsApp group, emails, Facebook group, and things like that, so that we can have this conversation about how the Mthwakazi diaspora can lobby, can have influence, can participate in CCC processes. Okay, I see Dawi is back. Dawi has got his hands up. Go ahead, Dawi, then CCC diaspora.
Hello guys, can you hear me? I hope I can be heard properly. My general comment is I absolutely love this platform that Becky and Nat have really come up. My belief is that the people of Mthwakazi should not be apologetic about what they wanted, what they expect from UCCC. Me, myself, I am a Shona guy, but the Veles cannot be apologetic about the Vele issues. It's clear and obvious that for anyone who's worth their soul understands that the Veles have been marginalized in Zimbabwe, and that's not a secret. And we cannot act like this doesn't happen. So I absolutely love this platform bringing the issues about Matabeleland at front and center in the conversation. This is something that I am very, very proud of as a Zimbabwean, because Zimbabwe belongs to you, Zimbabwe belongs to me, Zimbabwe belongs to all of us who call it home. And just a general commentary on Professor Washman Ngube's situations and his takes on what is currently happening. I loved the clarity in which he was able to tell us in detail. I would expect from CCC what a new thing that says it's for the citizens, but I want leaders as well who are going to be able to disagree. Speaking in one voice does not necessarily mean we have to agree on every decision we have to have, because the last thing that any one of us would want is Chamisa to be surrounded by praise and worship singers, because that takes us nowhere. It takes us back to where we are coming from, even in Morgan's era, and it takes us back to even Mugabe era. I want people who be able to disagree with Chamisa, even on policy, and be on record that we are disagreeing. But that does not mean our goals and our visions have diverted. That is essentially what we want. That is essentially what I expect out of CCC. Being able to disagree, but being able to go with the general consensus that, okay, this is what the majority have endorsed. But my point was, we should have gone this way. But because of the fact that the general consensus has overridden me, we'll go with the general consensus. That is exactly what I expect out of CCC. And that is what I want. And I'm just happy that you guys are setting up this thing, and let's fundraise and carry on fundraising for Matebele and MPs and councillors. Let's do our bit as the diaspora. Let's speak with our pockets. I think this week I've been speaking a lot with my pockets. I don't know if I'll have fewer for the rest of the month, but anyway, thank you guys, and just I've loved this platform. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much, Tawi. And it's okay if you don't have money for fuel. You can always exercise. It's an opportunity for you to hit the road. Okay, thank you very much. So I'll go to Diaspora. Then what I'll do is, after the professor has dropped off, we will continue and just have a review afterwards, because we're still trying to continue fundraising. So those, you guys can stay behind, we can stay together here and continue doing what we've been doing, and have our own review, our thoughts, our reflections on what Professor Ncube said and what Honorable Mthwakazi said. Thank you very much. Quiet, Diaspora.
Fortunately, the professor has already dropped, or unfortunately, I don't know which one is it. The reason why I wanted to speak was that team, we are 247 right now, and we can't go away after failing to raise last $90. I don't think it would be fair if we finish this space without $90 from all of us, the 250, almost 250 of us. Please, let's finish this up. I see that Ccc DMV is here. My sister, I see that Otis is here. Let's finish this up so that we can sleep in peace. Not going to organize another space to generate $90. I don't think it will be a very good use of our time. So over to you, BK, so that we finish up the fundraising. And thank you, Nat, for the wonderful moderation. We appreciate that. Over to you, BK.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nat. Nat, you can go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say thank you, and I was going to say perhaps it may be helpful for you to just give an overview again. I know it may feel like you're repeating yourself, but just to sort of say how much has been raised, how much is left, and the 4 candidates that it is going to. I think it's helpful maybe if you spell it out again, BK.
Thank you so much. Hold on, and I know because PayPal they charge fees. I'll need to calculate that. Hold on. Just a second. Let me just call out the names of people who donated as well, because I see them. Some of them are there in the space here. So the first person to do was Zukomborero, then there was Cholochuan. I'll use the names that they put in because likely they put those names for a reason. Then there's Nameless, there's B, Citizen Lioness, Otis Nkiwane, the one who just joined the speaker panel. He was our largest donor. He was our largest donor with $500. Thank you very much, Otis. There's Fathers Muponda, Nontokozo Ncube. She's a CCC change champion. There's Teddy, Standard Padre. There's T Boza. There's Dawi, we just spoke. Net, the co-host, thank you very much. Then there's Nishap Ngezapu. Zapu, this is the comment. Zapu, but Sebenzani Madota, I've given the same to my party. Okay, thank you very much from the gent from Zapu. Mengs, Wanda Philip. Then there's coffee supporter, Mufaceway Inclusion and Diversity, Mimi, Ndabazekaya, Nafochu. Then there's Ubuntu Betu. Ubuntu Betu as well. He has made $500 donation. He donated initially it was $100, then another $500. Then there's Sapuko Bako. Zukomborero came back again and donated. Nafochu donated for the second time. Patrick Zoti, I think I've seen him in a lot of spaces actually donating. Babsi Chitoa, Laxon and who came through for us, for CCC artists. Washington Ali, thank you. Sharon Piri, ZWGQ, Tall Lady, Mzala Tom, thank you. Derek Mhlanga, thank you. Deadman, Sawe, Wale, Tall Lady, Quitso, Shipa's daughter, Majo, Caroline Steakhouse, and Baba JJJ. Just a second, let me see. I'm trying to use Excel here to take a take. Yeah, and then there's about $700, which is being held by PayPal. I think it's because the donations were large, or some of them, and they asked hold on. They asked the people to verify, and I've contacted the people who made the donations to verify the donations and to clear them. So they are still on the way. Hold on. But I'll make sure that the funds are available in Bulawayo by tomorrow. This is defeating me.
And Big Hey, so I've just had a look at the second fundraising that you had started. On my end, it's showing that it's 100% achieved. I don't know if...
Yeah, the 3 donations that just came through. Junior Thierry, I'm sorry, hold on a second. Let me update here. There are 3 donations that just came through. Actually, 5 donations that just came through. Ntombizoto N, thank you very much for $100. Ngoza, thank you very much for $10. Cholochuwan, no. So it's Ntombizoto N, she's the one who got us to the top. And currently we're sitting on... I'm sorry, guys, I'm still figuring my way around this coffee website. So coffee is now $2,243 raised. So over by $243. And then I'll have PayPal do their calculations on the fees that they charged me. And I'll post everything, I think, tomorrow morning. Yeah, because it's $2,243 on the coffee website. But when it transfers to PayPal, PayPal charges fees for them using their website. So I'm not sure what percentage they calculate, because I've been looking at the different fees coming through, and they're different for each and every. Because I think like the business account and personal accounts get charged different fees. So yeah, we've raised $2,243, guys. Thank you to everybody. We greatly appreciate everybody who came through. And please, guys, let's follow each other, and let's make sure that when there are fundraisers elsewhere, let's go in and assist. Because I know there are now 3 days left, essentially, for the campaign. So if we can get onto other fundraisers and assist them, because agents have to be deployed, I think, by Friday evening, and they have to be there until Sunday morning, and they need, there are a lot of agents that need to be deployed. So just go to, I think it's Begotten Son, BEGOTTENSUN on Twitter, and he has got the national fundraiser going for the agents throughout the country. They want to, they're aiming to raise £159,000, I think, and they were sitting on less than 5% last time I checked yesterday.
Yes, through you, BK. I just wanted to remind you of the promise that we made to Ubuntu Vetu. I can see that he's actually here, one of our biggest donors, that we said that after we finish the fundraiser for the polling agents, we will raise at least something for the other council candidates. For one reason, when he donated, he actually expected that we were going to share the part of the amount with the, especially the Umzingwane candidate, council candidate. So I just wanted you to remember that, so that those who are still up for donating, can you kindly put something more? That extra is going towards the Umzingwane candidate who Ubuntu Vetu requested specifically for. So I just wanted to remind you, BK, so that people don't hold off their donations because there are council candidates who are not yet covered in the amount that has been raised. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
And thank you again. Otis just came through with another $100. Thank you very much, Otis. Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate you. Go ahead, Otis. So guys, we're just reflecting on everything. I'll update the title of the space, but we can continue donating. I'm still figuring my way around this coffee website. So I'll talk to you just now, but Otis can go on now. And then Netta, are you sticking around?
I was just going to say something, and I was going to then ask for permission to go.
No. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say, I thank you so much, BK, for your initiative and for starting this. I'm sure I wish I could do Mbululu Bushe, but so no, this is amazing. Thank you so much to you. It's a labor of love, and anyone who's ever tried to undertake anything like this knows that it's a lot of work. And please, guys, if you don't already follow UBK, please do, because there'll be full transparency about what's happening with the funds, where it's going, and all that stuff. You can see he's already doing spreadsheets, Lama pivot tables, and everything. So please do follow BK. But thank you so much to everyone for everything, for the money, even just for retweeting, even for being in this space. It just shows which we're all hungry for some type of change, and we're all curious. So thank you, BK. I'm going to stick around, but please feel free to make someone else a co-host. And can I be released, please?
It's all good. Thank you very much for coming through, Net. Chai moderation. It's all good. Thank you very much, Net of Galen Skies podcast. So okay, Otis, go ahead, please. What's up?
Thank you so much again for doing it again. But I've missed to move. We have this thing of working so hard. This thing of being in the diaspora. You guys, I wish you would understand how we make this money. It's not easy. But anyway, I just want to say welcome to everyone to your space, BK, and our very, very loyal and very good co-host, Nati, and also Ccc Diaspora. The guys are amazing. Ccc Diaspora has been supporting so much, and I just wish that he continues that way. But yeah. No, I'm just disappointed that I missed Ncube because I had a lot of questions and I had a lot of things that I wanted us to push him. But sadly, hopefully I'll catch up with him later on other spaces. But I just want to encourage again that we guys in Matabeleland, or they say Matabeleland employee is different, but me is one and the same thing. we need to really wake up and smell the coffee, guys, and we really need to be involved. Let's rejuvenate ourselves. Let's I don't even know how to put it in the best words. That let's find the energy somewhere. Let's wake up and see these things. Complaining from the cardboard boxes or from the corners, it will never help and it will never change anything. This Ccc movement, for me, I feel is a platform for us to be involved, for our concerns, for our voices to be heard. Absolutely everything. Chamisa has opened up the floodgate for absolutely everyone to be involved. And even that is why I'm saying, Guti, I'm so disappointed with Ncube. I missed him because I was going to even tell him that I feel that when I look at 1999 and now, when we had the MTC being formed and now Ccc being formed, I feel that maybe we've lost the energy, and some people are still calling on the old guards to guide us. Yes, it's good, but now that is 20 years later. We have young people with new energy. So I'm calling on the new people, the new ground, Konapo Ematipeleland, Bulwayo, and everywhere, or Bulawayo. Can we renew our energy and see involved in politics? And the thing I don't want to be involved in politics. I don't do politics. That is not good enough. That is not good enough. That will never help our cause. That will never help us as human beings. Let us be involved as much as we can. Let us speak to our parents, speak to our cousins, our uncles, everyone, our grandpas, grandmas, and everyone, and say, look, we had ZANU-PF. Yeah. For me, even we need to speak to Mthwakazi, we need to speak to Zapu. Some of us, we can say we were Zapu or whatever, but right now, what do we need? What do we need? What do we want? That's the question that we should be asking ourselves. What do we want? If we want change, if we want to see ourselves represented, Zapu can be there. Just like what Ncube did yesterday. As much as she's facing a lot of criticism, a lot of people disagreeing with her, or a lot of people judging, who is perfect? We can't say Nelson Chamisa is perfect. We can't say Denai Biti is perfect. We can't say Job Sikala is perfect. We can't say nobody is perfect. We can choose to upscale what Thokozani Cooper did and say, oh, we're here because of Thokozani Cooper. No. For me, yes, in part, but at the end of the day, whatever has happened has happened. We have a new dawn, a new situation, and a new chance. I support Cooper what she has done or what she said yesterday, that she's encouraging everyone that follows her, MDCT, to come and vote for any candidate who is Ccc. What that means, she cannot recall those MPs. If they are selected, she can't say, oh, these people, they were supporting these were my support. No. So we can eliminate. So all these people complaining about Ncube as well, that won't work, because if she wants to be in a position of power, she has to be selected by us. If she chooses in 2023 to be an MP, she has a right to stand, whether she is representing Kulumane or whatever suburb or whatever constituency. It's okay. If she's beaten, she's beaten. If she wins, she wins. But what she cannot have now, from my own perspective, is a situation whereby, let's say, she wants to be a VP, vice president, or something like that. We can't have that. But I just want to encourage everyone, from Matepeleland, from even those that are in South Africa, those are in Canada, UK, everywhere, wherever they are. Let's support this cause. A lot of us, we want to go back home. We know those that were there maybe before 2000 or 2002 or 2005, because that is when things really became really unbearable and that bad. They will know how Zimbabwe was like. That country is a beautiful country, and the potential, it is still there. You can see it now. Why? They are still allocating mines to the French. Yeah? Whether those mines are in Matipeleland, in Mashonaland, in Midlands, wherever they are, we still have the mineral resources. We still got agriculture. We still got absolutely everything. Even what does the UK have? All they have is the labor force. You know, the what do they call it? The service industry. That is what the United Kingdom survives on. The service industry. There is a little of mining and all these things is all gone. What they have now is the service industry. So we can even provide that from Zimbabwe because we are all well spoken. We know their English language and all these things. So we can even grow bigger than what we used to be. Even our currency can even grow stronger. So this is the time that we need to wake up and say, look, let's support this cause. And not only by mouth and talking. As I said yesterday, let's donate as much as we can. Please, guys, I'm begging you that we have the links. And I will speak to the leadership as well. I know that PK is passionate as well, that we minimize, because I think these donation links, they are now too much. Because I don't even know how much I've donated or how much we are donating. Because there's that one, then you feel passionate, you donate, you feel that you donate. So all these things, they are just, but all we need to do right now is to support the cause. Come to the spaces, speak your mind, let's support, let's question the MPs, let's bring people on the ground, we ask them. For me, right now, I don't know where you guys are, but what I was going to ask today is also, I'm looking for a group in Bulawayo, because right now I know there is students for change, but they are coming from Harare. They went to Masvingo. They were in Harare. They went all over Harare. I supported them. I donated a lot of money. They encouraging people to vote for Ccc. They went to Masvingo. They went to other places, and I was promised that they were going to go to Bulawayo. But I'm looking for a group like that will go door to door, and we know their name, we know them, and then we support them, because what we need to Bulawayo and Matipeleland as a whole, whether it's north, south, east, whatever, Matipeleland and Bulawayo, we are so disenfranchised. We are no longer interested in politics. So for us to bring people back, we need people on the ground that will beg the Gogos and the Kulus and the uncles, everyone, and say, look, yes, you are disappointed because you've never seen anything happening. You are crying about the roads, you are crying about the school, you are crying about the police. You have come out of your house, you have a police officer speaking to you in Shona, they are forcing you to speak in Shona, you don't even understand them, you've got no grinding meal. Schools, in primary schools, you got people that teachers that are coming from down in Mutare coming to teach in Kai there. They can't even speak a word in Ndebele. They learn, it maybe takes them 3 years to even learn a few words. So all these things, for you to change these things, we need to now participate. By ignoring participation, you are indirectly keeping the situation as it is, or even making it worse. So for me, I'm looking for a group, just like the Students for Change, that is based in Matepeleland, that we need to finance it. The group can be as big as it can be, because I know there is Gwanda, Bay Bridge, there is Ngai, there is Lupani, there is Wange, there is Binga, all these places, Bulawayo and everywhere, and the towns. So we need to really now think, because we need to focus on 2023. And it's going to be a long way. And we need to be united. and we need to coordinate each other and find the finance, find the structures, and absolutely everything. I'm doing this, not taking any position or positions or whatever it is, but all we need to do now, we want change, and we want to go back to Zimbabwe. We want to go back to our villages, our homes, and everything. For us to go back there, we need to make the change, and this is the chance. I'm asking everyone. As I said, I missed a lot of space today. I've just come in because of work, but I just want to encourage everyone that please let us participate. I'm sorry to say that even yesterday I did mention this. There have been a lot of spaces where we're raising thousands and thousands of dollars and pounds. We raise them in a few hours. But with this one for Matabeleland, oh my God, I don't know what kwenzakalani ebantwini bakithi. Please, ngiyalicela ukuthi asikhululeni inhliziyo zethu kancane. Sifakeni imali, asidonethenini to this cause. If we want to trace, like my sister Onati said, this is traceable. UBK will provide a spreadsheet. Imali yenu ihambile kubaba uCulu engaka iye kubani yonke, you will see the transparency of the whole thing. No one wants to steal from anyone here. We want to empower one another. Obviously, ulama charges that you have to understand. Now, who says diaspora, you know that. PayPal will charge, bank yakela will charge. If anything, that is why I was pushing for leadership here to speed up so that we have proper accounts for these causes, because Latising is donated to those accounts. You end up having your account being closed because you can't use your personal account for these things for a long period of time. So we need to be thinking about these things at a pace and at speed. So without wasting your time, as the people from Matabeleland or everyone in the space, we want to be inclusive as we can, but this one is a special cause to support Matabeleland because he is suffering. They've given up on politics, totally given up. Contesting registration vote, if you look at it, is so down low. They are even going to match our constituencies, meaning with e-representation. If Matepelele and Puloy combined together, we had 20 MPs. We end up having 10 or 8, meaning our voices is going to be even worse for us to be heard. So kumele encourage abantu to vote so that when they do that, each constituency has to have at least 25,000, I think, from my own understanding. So if you look at even County Park, it's got more than that now. Luveve has got more than that. So we can have as many MPs if we only participate in registering to vote and also voting. Then we have that representation. So please, number one, to conclude my submission, let us donate. Please, please, £100, $100, whatever you have, put it in there, or 1,000, whatever you have. Please put it in there. It will make a difference. And then number two, let's encourage everyone to register to vote. Register to vote, everyone. Then we'll make a change. Let's believe in this thing. Let's support Nelson Chamisa. And please, my final one for the third one, those that were saying, Guti, let's wait and see until we see the policies of CCC. That thing hurts me because the time when we wake up on our policies, they say set up on our structures, they say set up, there will be no space for us to enter. Because you can't set up an organization to, okay, let me wait. No, they are setting up, the structures are being set up now. Everything is in the pot. Let's participate, let's cook this twala and this food song. Please, Nyagweda, thank you so much for taking so much time today. Thank you.
been saying. And I also want to concur with what Rico said, to say, kuti, can't we, since we had budgeted 2,000 for the 4 MPs, the remainder, we give it to Mzingwane. Why am I saying this? Before even the, what's his name, the one who contributed $500, who thought the man was going to be shared in the whole of Matabeleland. I would want to share with you the plight of Mat South, seeing kuti we did for Bulawayo and Mat North and nothing for Mat South. I was speaking to this champion, Nonhlanhla, in Mat South. You know what she told me? You guys, we really need to bring here on the platform, and she speaks to us about the plight of Mat South. You know, Mat South, how big Mat South is, and you know, people, they are suffering. You know, she was telling me of the most of the people are in South Africa, but those people are not willing to help. She was even citing most of them, when they help, they will be wanting a position to be MPs, and that's the reason why we keep on losing to ZANU-PF, because ZANU-PF, they place they appoint people that are based in the local. So she was even telling me that the people would prefer to vote as an PF candidate than someone who is coming from other areas, because they know that that person will be with them the rest of the 5 years. So I was just saying, I'm just proposing to say, since we said we are going to continue with this basis, just invite Nonhlanhla, and she will tell you how Mat South is and how best we can help, because they really need us, guys. Otherwise, I want to thank all those that contributed, and I hope this the money will go a long way in making in bringing our seats that were taken by Monzora and company. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. I'll try. If anybody has got her handle, please just DM me her Twitter handle so that I can try to reach out to her.
I have a number. I can give you a WhatsApp number.
Please DM it to me.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Go ahead. I think it's DMV.
Yes, thank you very much. This was a very wonderful space, and I got to enjoy listening to the professor and my sister. What's her name? I can't find her. I know she was trying to say, woo! Congratulations, everybody. You all did a good job. This was a huge success. So I don't want you to feel like, I know there's still a long way. There's more that can be done, but this is a very good job on everyone. We are, I don't know if you guys know me, but we are twinned with Binga North. So we've been working very closely with our candidate, Prince, my branch, which is in the US over here in Washington, DC. So we have been working very closely and raising funds as well towards the polling agents. So I'm glad to see that there is a larger role that is also being played for the other candidates, as well as to even help us, because we're just a small group. So any help that comes in, to help push through the success for Saturday is very much needed, and is very much, we are really thankful for it. So that's what I wanted to say, that we should continue. We should not forget the problem is ZANU-PF. And they're the ones who try to alienate us. They're the ones who try to divide us. Because to be honest, we all recognize that ZANU-PF has failed the citizens of Matabeleland. And we want to support in any way to make sure that change is coming. And that is why I personally believe that CCC is a party that can be engaged. We can be engaged in those conversations. I'm encouraging everyone to participate participate at every level, speak out, because ZANU-PF is good in making sure that making you voter apathy, making you lose confidence, making you stay apart, making you feel that you have no room. But this is your chance, and you need to participate. We need to stick together, and we need to speak out. So you are the ones who have the voices. You're the ones who can clearly articulate those issues. So I'm just encouraging everyone that's here to continue doing so, because I know that if you continue participating, someone will be pushed, and something is bound to happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, DMV. We greatly appreciate you. And as stated, we need to have these conversations. They have to be ongoing. And I get where Otis was coming from when he's saying people Matabeleland, we really need to step up. And then there was Barbara as well saying the same about Mat South. The thing is, what has happened in Matabeleland over the past 42 years, there are people who generally don't feel like they belong to Zimbabwe. So that's why I was like, you know what? I think we need to start having this very important conversation about people who are in the diaspora from Matabeleland, on how they can come through and how they can influence CCC in its infancy. Because there has been a feeling of alienation, disenfranchisement, and a lot of other grievances. So you go to South Africa, like a lot of people from Matabeleland started leaving for South Africa. 1980, 82 to 87, there was a deluge of people from Matabeleland going into South Africa, running away from the genocide. Then after that, the economic marginalization. So it was only in 2000 that probably the entire country then was like, okay, you know what, we're shifting to SA. But mostly to South Africa, it was mostly people from Matabeleland. And that's the community that we need to find a way, we need to find the message. We need probably to speak to Welshman Ncube to be like, okay, Professor, who else do you want to go to? Do you want to go with the Honorable Mologele to South Africa for the air tickets? How much can you raise for their hotels? They go to South Africa, maybe they camp there for like 10 days. And then you have like at least maybe 2 meetings every day. You hit all the different areas in South Africa, and they speak to the community and see how they can be enticed to come back and vote in 2023. And not only do that, they can also do that for people from all the other regions as well. We decided, okay, Chamisa needs to go to SA. There's a huge block of Zimbabweans in South Africa. You just get like just 500,000 of them. You convince them to come and vote. You tell them, look, why we're struggling as Zimbabweans is because there's ZANU-PF in power. Even if you stay in SA and you send your money, that money is not going anywhere. It's going towards food, or it's going towards medicines and things like that. So we need to find a right message to convince people in the SADC region, Lusaka, Johannesburg, Windhoek, Francistown, to come and vote next year. So that's very, very, very important. I'll go to, I see we've got Citizen Ontario.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I would like to thank you, BK, for organizing this. I really, really appreciate what you are doing. As you know, our branch here in Toronto has been twinned with Lupane East. So we have been doing projects there in Lupane East. We have been doing projects like soap making for the people in the community. And then we're focusing now on fixing the boreholes. So simple things like that, fixing the boreholes and the deep tanks. So we've been doing some stuff with that because our branch has been twinned with our counterparts in the Lupane East.
So we have started doing things to improve the lives of our people in Matabeleland. And I just called to just appreciate the work you are doing and how much we have raised today. This is so encouraging. I know some of us have been doing things there, but now this gives us more energy and more fuel to see that the Abantu of Mthwakazi, they are getting involved and we are doing these things. So I just wanted to just thank you and appreciate you for your efforts. Thank you so much, BK.
And BK, sorry to intervene, because I just said my brother branch Ontario, because we work together at Matabeleland. We also work, I know they work in Lupane, but we also work in Kai South. So because I was fixated on the by-elections, because we had to reshift focus to Binga. But prior, as Mutario was talking about, we were working in Kai South doing what they are also doing with Leader Hadebe, rehabilitating the deep tanks, some small chicken projects, just something for the community, so that the candidate, so that they can know that, you know, there are people who are actually interested in rebuilding those communities. So this being here has made a difference to us as branch members, knowing that we have support from other diasporans who are outside as well. We are concerned about the community. And I would just encourage people, if you know, to come to talk with Ontario and get involved. If you're from Lopane, if you're from Kai South, to come and just DM us as well, so that we can work in a collective effort whenever we have such community projects going on. I'm sorry to just butt in. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
No, it's fine. Thank you very much for you guys initiating those projects, and hopefully they'll go a long way, because 2023, it's we already know that, you know, like for rural areas, Manicaland has been opposition stronghold. I know MTC is very competitive and has won it twice, including last time Chamisa won it. And then Matabeleland North and Bulawayo, it's all good, but the numbers need to go back to the levels they were in early 2000. And then Much South as well. Much South was MTC dominated that place in, I think it was 60% in 2000. While I think Much North, it was around 70%, and Bulawayo was around 85% for MTC in 2000. So these projects, I hope in a way, like, communities seeing, okay, that there are people who are assisting, and us going and having these conversations with communities, like, okay, why is there been that shift? But the major shift has been people migrating out of the rural areas to Sadak area and other greener pastures. So that has depleted the vote, I believe, and then other people just becoming apathy, and the impact of other issues. But hopefully we find the right messaging, because that is what is important for 2023, and get people to go and vote again. I was actually heartened to see the Cholocho rally, the people who turned up in Cholocho. That was really massive. And even Pinga, like you see the Pinga numbers, because Pinga has been held by MTC essentially ever since 2000. So yeah, I see this Washington. I think it's Washington Ali, and thank you very much for your donation, Washington. You can go ahead.
Thank you, my brother BK. I think this basically shows that we've got a lot of work, and the work that we have is the work of showing love. There's nothing that beats love, and I'll continue talking about love. The message which I gather from this has really incited me to say the little donation that I did put in was not big enough, so I'm going to put another 50. And I would like someone to come challenge, and let's do just a little bit. We are fundraising. Let's make a difference. I mean, these elections are so important. They are a test, a barometer for us. So let's give it all that we could. We've got people that are going to be monitoring these elections. They need to eat, they need to drink, they need to be happy. We don't want them to be incited with a box of chicken in from a Zanu-PF president, and we know what that can do. So let's do this, guys. Let's do this. We can do it. Let's speak. Let's speak in solidarity. But as we are speaking, let's find ways and means. Put your $2, put your $5, put your $10. We need it. It's required. It's needed. Let's continue to work together. I really, truly ask that sometimes even coming on spaces and listening, you will catch one or two things that you probably would not have known, and that will make you a very clever person for the rest of your life. I'm going to the back to put my 50.
Thank you very much, Ali. Ali has thrown a challenge to you guys. Anybody to mention for the $50, please come through. So, Diaspora, are you still there?
Yes, definitely. But I'm not here to challenge Washington, but I'll add something more. I was the first person to donate. I donated again, and I'm going to donate again.
Oh, you're Zikomborero, that's you.
Yes, definitely. That's me, Rico.
Okay. Oh, nice to finally know the name behind the account. Thank you very much for your generous donation. I appreciate it. Anybody who wants to speak, please go ahead. And those want the mic, anything that the professor said, your reflections, your thoughts about CCC, anything you want to essentially talk about, how you want how you want CCC to be structured. Somebody brought up that okay, they prefer for it to be there, for it to be there to be one president and one vice president. So I'm sure those conversations are going to heat up after the Saturday because they left to be a party constitution and things like that. Such talks. So let's have a conversation around CCC, what we want to see in it, and what we hope to see happening before the end of April and before the end of the year. Thank you. And Ali, your donation just came through. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So guys, please request the mic. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I think we've got another Barbara Munava. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hi, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara? The second Barbara? Okay. I think Barbara is unmuted the mic. Go ahead, Barbara.
Okay, thank you so much. I couldn't send you a DM. I don't know what's happening. There's not that envelope for DMing, so I've just sent a non-class number to Brother Ali. But I've also discovered that you follow each other. She's No Mahlambi. You can look for a No Mahlambi, NOE, and then Mahlambi. She's the one.
Okay. I know her. I think I know her. Is she non-Sam Lochwa?
Yes, the daughter to the late Mrs. Mlocha, yeah.
Okay, I think is she the one who was singing at the Bulawayo rally?
Yes, even she's been very instrumental in the Mzingwane campaign. She's her former position was the rural mobilization deputy.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. I'll DM that definitely. Yeah, we follow each other. We follow each other.
Yes, and then I just wanted to share something BK that the last speaker was talking about participation, that we should participate and influence the policies. As they say, nothing for us without us. I just wanted to share with you that myself, I'm a veteran trade unionist, so I haven't distanced myself from the trade union. So what they've done now, the trade unionists, I think you all know the history that is there now at the politics that is there at ZCTU, that it's now has been captured. The leadership that is there, they want to play neutral, but we know why they are trying to play neutral, to say we don't support a political party, blah blah. So the other guys, the labor, the trade unionists, they've seen now that because they are not being represented even at the formation of the CCC, no position has been laid for the workers. Now they've formed the labor caucus. Now they are saying we want to demand our space. We want to influence policies. We are going to write our own policies, what we want as workers. So now they are mobilizing themselves around the country, setting structures and coordinators to say if the leadership of the ZCTU does not want to talk on behalf of us, we are going to do it ourselves as the labor caucus, not ZCTU, because we are workers. If the organization does not want to speak on our behalf, we will speak on our own. So I think this is exactly what should be done with people from Matabeleland, Lingakalali. We are there to support you guys. We are there to support you guys. We don't support what ZANU-PF is doing. We know it's divide and rule, just like what my sisters just said. They are trying to divide us. We are one, guys, and we love you. We are. We don't support that. It's not good. It's not a crime. We are human beings, and we understand the problems, or maybe the tribulations that you're facing. We are part of you. That's why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barbara, for that. Yeah, and we all know what has happened with Zimbabwe, right? ZANU-PF divide and rule, everything they've done, they've engendered. What ZANU-PF has done is they've engendered tribalism in Zimbabwe. There is institutional tribalism in Zimbabwe. We cannot deny that. There is Shona supremacy in Zimbabwe. That is a ZANU ideology. And those are some of the hard conversations we should have. Just like Professor Ncube was saying, that it doesn't make any sense that you find police officers being deployed in Matabeleland and somebody can't even speak Ndebele, deep in Lupane, deep in Nkai. And what that does is people on the ground, they feel alienated, they feel disrespected. Because how are you going to be doing your investigations? How are you going to be a nurse attending to a Ndebele grandmother, to a Kalanga grandmother in Plant Road who doesn't understand Shona? So what ZANU-PF has done with it's been deliberate. They've divided us, and what is eventually the way it is evolved is that now there is like more tribal animosity, if I may put it that way, because of ZANU-PF, because they're deliberately doing that to divide us. So they're diverting us from concentrating on ZANU-PF, and now it's all on us looking at each other like, okay, what's happening here? So for me in CCC, this is my thing. Just like somebody asked earlier on, the entire issue whereby we can't have these hard conversations, we need to speak on it. Chamisa came to Bulawayo and he addressed Bulawayo in Ndebele. There was an MTC event last year, I think, commemorating MTC birthday, and it was in Bulawayo. And watching it, I think I watched the whole of it, but then there were other people commenting like, okay, what's happening here? The MC was speaking, Shona, the music being played was Shona. The speakers who came in were speaking Shona. And somebody was asking that, okay, this is insensitive. And when Chamisa came through for the CCC rally, there's been a complete shift. Chamisa was speaking Ndebele. Music being played was Ndebele Kalanga. The MC was speaking Ndebele in Kalanga. So you see that shift. So for me, that's like a change. That's progress. And that's why I'm asking my brothers and sisters that, okay, you know what? Whatever MTC did to alienate us, whatever, we thought, okay, MTC could not change, even though we still continue to support and vote for it. Now CCC, they're shifting. Now they're listening to us. We've got these platforms. Let's talk to them. Let's have conversations with CCC. Let's get into their structures. And that way, they'll understand us. So when you see my brothers and sisters from Matabeleland not being bothered about Zimbabwean politics and not donating until this space, or not seeing them in other spaces where there are donations, so just seeing a few of them, it's because of the feeling of alienation, of disenfranchisement as far as Zimbabwe is concerned. So we need to have these conversations continuously. We need to understand each other. We need not to gaslight each other. Yes, somebody can be ignorant about certain things. But we need to be, kind and polite to each other to understand that ZANU-PF has brought us here. And for us to get out of this huge hole, we have to concentrate on ZANU-PF first. And within CCC, so far what I see, even though what Molokelo was saying and Professor Ncube was saying, even the candidate for Nkrumah was recalled, they are unapologetic and they want to influence change. But we cannot rely on Professor Ncube, Honorable Molokelo, and Honorable Pudu to do that on our behalf, while some of us were sitting behind. We have to get in, do the dirty work, and assist them with the job they've been doing. Thank you. I think Barbara, have you managed to, Barbara, is still there? Diaspora, go ahead.
Yes, so I also went to make my donation, like my brother Washington, and to encourage others to do the same. I've tried to increase my amount, but I won't say it. But I encourage the other guys to donate. This is the third time I'm donating to this one. And I hope we will also just come through and help the efforts that BK is doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Diaspora. I just saw your donation. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. And I think Job Sikala just tweeted that there are ZANU-PF thugs outside his home. I'm not sure, because I think they rally yesterday in St. Mary's. And apparently somebody just tweeted that Job Sikala actually tweeted that he's under attack in his house. I hope he's safe and fine. So you guys, you realize this is the thing about ZANU-PF, right? They don't care whether you hold political office like Job Sikala, or you're like the Culture Park women who were beaten by the police, or people who got beaten for wearing yellow. Some who don't have anything to do with CCC, or being beaten for campaigning for CCC or wearing yellow like Matsibaba. So we need to concentrate on ZANU-PF, honestly speaking. Like, find a way to put aside our differences, find a way to acknowledge the differences we have, and come together and concentrate on ZANU-PF. That's the only way. And thank you very much for the donations that keep coming in. Otis, go ahead, please. Otis?
Oh, yes. So sorry. Yes, I'm here. Thank you for calling me again to speak. Yes, and it's so sad. You're just saying that, Job Sikala. I'm just praying. Let's pray for him that he is safe and well, because these things are happening live, and it's so terrible. And when these Twitter spaces for Zimbabweans, when the CPC started. I did speak about these violences because, for me, I've seen how ZANU-PF operates, and I've been telling people that, guys, we need to actually, I think we are not serious enough to take it so serious that we need to unite. Whether you were MDC Alliance, MDC-T, MDC whatever, but the bottom line is we need to think, what do we want as people of Zimbabwe, as Zimbabweans? What do we want? For as long as you want to eliminate ZANU-PF, right? For now, I'm encouraging everyone again to come so that we all come and be with the CCC movement. Because with this movement, we wouldn't have, if all of us are in this movement, people, then what it means is that we won't have divided votes. If you are in any doubt, if anyone is any doubt, they can look at what happened in 2018. If you check what happened then, if MDC was not divided, they were going to win. But because they were divided, ZANU-PF won some seats in Bulawayo and the Matabeleland. So for us to eliminate, let's get rid of divisions. I know there are people passionate about ZAPU. We know that, and we really appreciate that. There are people passionate about MDC. We know that. In 2009, we were all, I was MDC, very, very passionate, even though before I was ZAPU, and afterwards when they were starting to split, I went back. But now you can see what is happening. So I just want to reiterate, please, my message, because I'm really passionate about this. We cannot make a change divided. We can't. We will never make a change divided. We can't win ZANU-PF. Right now, they are giving, if you've been looking at all the rallies and everywhere and you're not biased, ZANU-PF have been giving boats in Binga, they are giving fishing nets, and they are doing all sorts of things. They are going to places. Can you imagine a ruling party giving exercise books? Something that is meant to be a right to a kid at primary school or at nursery. They are campaigning, so saying, oh, you wanted exercise books. They are giving exercise books. Huh? Pencils. You are a president. You are making a big announcement, part of your campaign. You're saying you are donating pencils, exercise books for free. What kind of a country is that? So this shows us how low ZANU-PF has stooped. It's so bad. So all we need to do is to unite and say, okay, for us to get rid of ZANU-PF, to show them, because unfortunately, and also why I'm saying this, people, we need to think, ZANU-PF is not just a party. It's a party and a military movement. If the numbers are small, we will be bombed, killed, just because we are making a difference. So the numbers need to be huge. If Ntumbana has got 200 million or 200,000 people there, at least you need to look at maybe 150,000 or whatever numbers are there, so that they can't even rig. But if we allow any room for maneuver for them to rig, they will rig. So this is not the time for division. This is not the time for any of those things. Let's come together. Let us come together. Whether it's Mrs. Cooper, any divisions, there is Bangladesh Como there. We need to speak to all them, because all of them. Because at the end of the day, we know that he cannot be a president in 2023. You can say whatever you like. It's impossible. Whether you dream, whether you are a realist, whatever you are. I'm from Matabeleland. I'm close to ZAPU as anybody else, but he can never, ever in 2023. Maybe we don't know in the years to come, but he will never. So it's realistic for us to speak to one another and say, look, let's unite and look at this movement. we have this person that we can talk to, and he is speaking himself that let's decentralize absolutely everything. You don't need to go to Harare to get a birth certificate. You don't need to have Zambezi water project not done for 20 years. What nonsense is that? So all these things will be, but we can influence those things to be done and achieved and progress to be moved if we are involved. We've got our Monash University. We need our chancellor there to be developed. We've got so many developed chancellors there who can qualify to be chancellors. They are not given the opportunity because they just speak in develop. That's their crime. We have UCE. Who's the head of the UCE there? You have Shona person. The police officers, they speak to us in Shona. They've all these things, guys. I speak about these things every single day because it's a pain of every person who lives in Matepeleland, in Bulawayo. They are facing this problem some of them, they just become punished because you have an officer speaking to you in Shona. They become agitated because you couldn't speak back Shona. Then your situation is worse off. We can't keep having that. Nelson Chamisa understands that. He understands it full well. I can't say he's 100% perfect. He's got his weaknesses, but at least for now, I'm saying, and I'm encouraging everyone that let's work with this guy. Let's work with this guy. Maybe he's younger than me or same age as me, but let us work with this guy. I feel we can influence him. He can listen. He's just like if you live in the United Kingdom, just like Boris Johnson here. We can influence this guy. You speak to the person, he can change his views. He can see where the direction, the tide is going. You know, when you're in the sea and you've got your fishing boat, or if you're surfing, you can see where the tide is going. He can see where the tide is going. He knows that, okay, if you are the president of Zimbabwe, not of Mashona people, not Mashonaland, because there are so many Mashonaland people that are suffering as well. But if you are the president of Zimbabwe, how you should govern Zimbabwe, I feel this guy is listening. And I feel that we need to be involved so that he is not confused, that he is listened to with every angle, and that he's got advisors from Matebeleland, he's got advisors from everywhere. And for me, I want to encourage the young. Let's not keep banging on about the old guards that we had in 2009, including our brother that was here earlier on, Ncube. Yeah, I love him to bits, but I feel he can enjoy to be a businessman and enjoy his farms and other things that he's doing. Yes, he's an MP and all this, but now we need people to influence and feel our pain, that we can't be paying so much electricity, so much water. The roads are so bad. We got all the things that I've mentioned, the headmasters or the head teachers or the colleges. But I'm not saying that Shona people should be. We have a lot of people that are Shonas that are living in Matepeleland. But the council in Bulawayo there, no, it cannot be run like the way it's happening now. Guys, let's wake up again and smell the coffee and fix this thing and make sure that it is run properly by people from Matepeleland that can speak in Ndebele. No apologies about that. They need to understand our pain and where we want to go. For me, let us unite and work together and have and make sure that we have principles. But my last submission is that please, people from Matepeleland, people from Bulawayo, we are not donating, we are not paying. I said this before. $5, yes, it's okay. But please, I know that there are professors there, there are business people there. Can we see some $10,000, some huge amounts? Because I've been in other spaces in Mashonaland that I run about Mashonaland guys. They donate. The aim is millions, not even these $2,000 that we are aiming. I know we need to start more to understand these things, and BK has already started, and with Net and others that are doing this thing. And I don't know, maybe I might be one of them that will start doing these Twitter spaces, but I want to encourage others also, because we have different time zones wherever we are, that we do this thing from Matepeleland and Bulawayo, that we do this thing, that we encourage people to donate, and really big. And we influence. I want to see a lot of billboards in Bulawayo, Matepeleland, the whole Rwanda there is Stanmore. Me, I come from Stanmore there. I want to see that it's all yellow everywhere, so that people understand. We talk to our grandmothers, Elumene, Singukwe there, and Nyandeni, everywhere. Mzingwane, Slovenia, everywhere. You know, it has to be. We need to see that influence come. But those things, they don't come cheap. Abantu esebesifuna bahambe there. They need to eat. Even ehamba ngenqola. Uyafuna afike eMacross athenge isinkwa or something, anathi Coca-Cola. We can't keep doing this. We honestly, 3 days we only raised $2,000. Please, my people, I beg you. Let's search our souls. Yeah, let's look at Amashona 10. Oh, this, that, and that. Can we step up to the plate? I'm asking you, and I beg you. Let's look. The Bible says in Colossians, examine yourself. Eh? Examine yourself. Don't examine anyone. So if you are to examine yourself, you are talk. You can't even donate $100. This is a movement that we want to move and make a difference. Please, I beg you, let's search our pockets. Even if use your credit card just for the sake of this movement. Uzayibhatala mbijana, but uyabusuyenzile a difference in the country that you love, in the country that you want to go back to, or in the country that you want to live in. Uyabusuyenzile a difference. So let's search our souls, and we examine ourselves and do whatever we can to support this movement. I thank you. This is my submission for today.
Thank you very much, Otis. Thank you. I think there was Ccc Washington DC.
Yes, liyangizwa.
Yebo, siyakuzwa.
Yebo, ngicela ukubonga BK ngomsebenzi owenzayo. Mina ngilapha eWashington DC, United States. Although I haven't yet donated to this platform, but I just joined this platform, I think later, like 2 days before or so. But I managed to raise funds for our CC candidate in council candidate Umama Umamlalas Ward 18 eMagweko. I managed to raise close to 400, which I managed to help her campaign. A campaign it was struggling. She had nothing. She's one of the councillors who were recalled by Omonzora. So mina Mthwakazi ngabantu bakithi ngizizwa ngilesihelo kakhulu ngobulawayo uthona khona kumele sisukumeni sibambane njengoba uProfessor Ncube ke watsho la ukuthi khona kumele iMathebeleland sisukume sonke sibe bantu banye. uProfessor Ncube nisebenzela kakhulu ngikwazi nyamazi ukuthi inhliziyo yakhe isebantwini beZimbabwe bonke, but especially iMathebeleland ulesifiso sokuthola khona ngazi iyaphumelela kakhulu. iMathebeleland siyenze sinqobe izanu sikhuphe izanu njalo engifuna ukuthi okunye BK bengicela ukuthi khona iplatform yakho leyi nxa ngeke ngakuzwe emalangeni ukhuluma ukuthi uza create even iWhatsApp, and let's look for more people abavela eMathebeleland and abanye abavela eMidlands ukuthi khona sihlanganeni siphathisaneni sibe bantu banye. Njalo njengutshele wami kungakhuluma kade khona lapho i-DMV branch ye-CC egoqela i-Virginia, i-Washington DC, le-Maryland. sesike sadonata towards i-campaign kababa uDubeko Sibanda weBhinga, and we are continuing to do so, but eyami sengiyenzile i-donation separate from my branch. I-donation ekade ngiyibhekise kumama uMamlalazi Ward 18 ngoba ngakade solonke lesicelo, so I will continue doing so ngoba kade sesikhangele ukuthi sincedise ama-polling agent ukuthi athole ukudla and all those other things. So hayi siyabonga kakhulu Bulawayo, siyabonga kakhulu Matabeleland, Midlands, kasisukumeni sibambeni into le ngeyethu. Njalo futhi into eyinye i-CCC njengoba kulibandla eliqalayo lanxa sisazi ukuthi lonke kulabantu abanye abantu basonke savela ku-MDC Alliance labanye abatsha abasijoyinayo, bengicela ukuthi khona abantu bakithi beke beme sometimes ukuthola labo sebengenile ebantwini abaphusha ama-agendas, uthole abantu sebeqalisa ukuthethisa ubaba uNcube, sebesithi ubaba uNcube ngumthengisi njani. Okunye kuyabe kuqalisa ngabantu bakithi abangakwaziyo ukuthi isisusa sendaba sokuthi kuze kube njalo siqalisela ngaphi. Indaba yokuthi khona kukhulunywa ukuthi ubaba uNcube ngumthengisi kuqalisa ngendaba yokuthi kwaba lepikitha leyani yavelayo uMakhuphe ephuma Professor Ncube lo baby. Into abantu abangayaziyo ukuthi ukukhuluma lokhuphe ezi-CC akuqalanga ngoProfessor Ncube. UProfessor Ncube waba nje ngumnyama kumbe kwenzakalani ukuthi khona abe kuqine sokule picture ke, but inkulumo zivele zakowende, they've been talking to ukhuphe for a long time, even la uChamisa upresident uyakwazi lokho. So into engicela ngabantu bakithi singavumeli ukuthi sidivide ngabantu abalenjongo zabo zeZANU-PF. Asibambaneni sibe bantu banye, silungise ilizwe, silungise iMatabeleland ibe developed. I believe ukuthi i-CC that's the vehicle esingayisebenzisa to develop our region. Ngiyabonga kakhulu BK lo CC Diaspora. Please, let's continue with this platform. Sizame ukuthi khona sivuselele sincedisaneni. U2023 ethebuya we raise more funds. Othi sokwakhuluma about something which is very important. Ukuthi khona we can't after 3 days kube lonke sikudlalela kuma 2000. Let's try to build a big audience. Ukuthi abantu they must come in, they donate. uBulawayo wonke umuntu ohlala koBulawayo whether lishona kumbe lindebele kumbe likhiwa belongs koBulawayo, belongs to eMatabeleland. Ngiyabonga BK.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So essentially, and this is the other thing that I wanted to speak about earlier. There is after the Professor Ncube's a picture with Thokozani Kupe, there was a lot of people that started posting Chief Ndiweni. Some saying Chief Ndiweni, he will make a great CCC vice president. And I want my brothers and sisters from outside Matabeleland to understand how that comes across to people in Matabeleland, right? So Chief Ndiweni is now being certainly because Welshman Ncube is seen with Thokozani Kupe. Now Welshman Ncube is getting slandered on the timeline. Welshman Ncube is getting decampaigned on the timeline. That was improper because I saw Wopo Chinkono and other people going on about Chief Ndiweni and things like that. You continue. What that does is, I want to Matabeleland. If somebody from Matabeleland has a political opinion or thought or something else, suddenly they have to be victimized if their political thought is different from somebody from Harare. So people are now promoting Chief Ndiweni. Chief Ndiweni is great intellect, he's got great range. He can make, and first and foremost, Chief Ndiweni can be president of Zimbabwe, right? So now you're saying Chief Ndiweni will make a great VP. That's the thing. That's the paternalistic attitude that we always speak about in Zimbabwe. That essentially broke MDC. That led to MDC splitting even in 2005, 2006. Because when you look at people from Matabeleland, you see them as second-class citizens, as vice presidents. So that was wrong. And this is my prayer. to all my brothers and sisters from outside Matabeleland, if you see somebody that you've got influence in posting things like that or pushing a certain narrative, please call them to the side and advise them to stop doing that. Because it is really, honestly speaking, it's toxic. It's unproductive, it's petty, and it's very, very messy. And the toxicity that was in the MDC, it should not be transplanted into CCC. And the whole conversation about Watchman Ncube, the way people went after Watchman Ncube, it was improper. It was improper. Watchman Ncube came in here today and he said, every conversation that was had with Mthwakazi Diaspora or any other political party, it was under the authority from Nelson Chamisa, who was the center of power of CCC. Right? And there's no way Watchman Ncube could have gone behind other leaders and did whatever he thought was best for him or anything like that. So I pray and hope my brothers and sisters from outside Matabeleland, they appreciate that from our stance that, okay, suddenly people are posting Chief Ndiweni. Okay, you're decampaigning Watchman Ncube. What are you doing? You're being toxic. So if Nelson Chamisa has got a different political thought from, let's say, Opoli Chingono or Fatai Mahere or whoever, CCC has got a large influential account, are they suddenly going to start subtweeting Nelson Chamisa or writing tweets that are essentially cause people to start going after Watchman Ncube? That's the thing. That's the way people that's the perception material, if I may say this. There's the thing whereby Harare is called Bambazonke. That Harare people want to tell people in Matabeleland what to do and what not to do. So there you are putting Chief Ndiweni as somebody you want. Somebody from Harare actually posted, and then people started getting that, oh yes, once Chief Ndiweni, he'll make a great president, vice president rather. So that's the attitude that we don't want. We are equal citizens. And once we appreciate that, I swear to you, people will come into CCC. People are being cautious right now. They're watching CCC because there's this very widespread perception in Matabeleland that, okay, we're not considered Zimbabweans, we're considered second-class Zimbabweans. In the way we're treated and seen, oh, Ndebele is a VP, or you are reserved a vice president position in a political party, in a national party in Zimbabwe. So I hope because I saw the accounts yesterday starting to retweet about when Ncube, after the presser about Ncube, I saw influential CCC accounts tweeting about positions and titles, and Watchman is addressed that as nobody was promised a title or a position or anything like that. Actually, Mthwakazi Diaspora has got no chance of even getting a national post in CCC. She has bent the bridges with the people. She cannot go to a national congress and win anything. So I hope that paternalistic attitude will end. Actually, I've been advised that there is another space for citizen action. So I'll let Bright speak, and then I'll let everybody wrap up over the next let's say 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Citizen Action is about to open another fundraising space. So if we can all head there as well. Thank you. Quiet, Pride.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, BK. And thank you, Komajiko. Thank you for this space. I might just briefly build on what BK have said. I think BK have raised a number of important issues. The first one that I want to touch on is the fact that most of these challenges that you are having are due to some of the historical issues that occurred in MDC and some previous issues that have occurred in the past. And I think we just need to be careful in order for us to be able to ensure that we have a good break from the past. I'll give some specific examples. We do have some historical issues with the leadership and the way the party was structured, with specific examples of the Secretariat and the Treasury. I'll come back to that issue a little bit later. We also do have some ongoing issues
with what I could call President Tsvangirai's, may his soul rest in peace, orphans. People like Obed Gutu, Chebundo, who have failed to find any belongingness, and as a result have fallen to the whites to the side, and are sort of dining with the enemy, with ZANU-PF. It's quite tragic and very unfortunate that people who had very senior positions in the previous MDC are now supping and finding comfort in working with ZANU-PF. It's a term that others have called, Tsvangirai's orphans. We need to find ways of dealing with those. The second issue is around feedback mechanisms. In MDC, we never had opportunities for citizens to speak up and for their views to be sort of, accepted and incorporated into the party. And I'm seeing a bit of a change in that regard, and it's quite promising and makes me a bit optimistic about the future, in that the leadership appears to be responding to people's concerns. I've listened to President Chamisa speaking in all the CCC rallies and spaces. He has shifted and has been addressing local issues. When he went to Matebeleland, he made an attempt to speak in the local languages. When he was in Mutare recently, he was talking to issues around, Marange, the diamonds, issues that are relevant to the local populace. And I think this is quite important in that aspect for us to move forward as an organization. Just to finish up on the two issues that I want to talk about, the secretariat need to be changed. I think BK, or I don't know if it's Nkomajiko, said, what are our aspirations for CCC? The secretariat need a revamp. The secretariat is been one of our biggest problems going forward. It's being staffed by politicians. We need meritocracy. We need people with the ability, with knowledge and experience of administration, to run this CCC as an effective organization, in order to ensure that everyone is represented across the country, from Uzumba to Cholocho to Harare, not to have this Harare-centric situation where a politician works in these roles. The second one that needs to be addressed is the treasury. We now have citizens, have got citizens here and there, pockets, doing certain things. There doesn't appear to be a well-structured approach to the way that we are doing our fundraising and contributions. I think the treasury needs to be reviewed as well, to ensure that it's fit for purpose and we have a break from the past. I'm very happy with what has been done in the communication department. Advocate Fadzi and Leader Australis are doing an excellent job. And I think if we can replicate that process across the whole structure of the CCC, we'll be heading somewhere. The main game is 2023. We need to change. We need to improve in certain aspects. There are opportunities for improvement. But if the leadership have got a way of looking at the feedback that is being provided by the citizens and actioning it, and in a way that is responding, and for them to provide feedback as well, to say that we have heard you. This, for example, the issue of Maikupe, no one seems to be wanting to address it clearly. Personally, I have no problem with her joining. She's free to join like any other citizens. We have accepted people from ZANU-PF. I will leave that with leadership. And I think Professor Ncube have sort of highlighted some of the issues, but we need clarity in these issues. We can't just wait and expect nature to take its course. Those are my submissions. And thank you again, BK and Rico, for organizing this space. We need to continue working as citizens, but I think the future is bright and a new Zimbabwe is behold. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bright. Closing comments from everybody on the speaker panel. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I am happy to be here. I have listened to Professor Ncube. When he was talking, he helped me a lot from his speech and comments and answers. I just want to say let us all of us unite and follow the CCC. I think the way this organization is moving, I have hope that it can help us a lot. The way President Chamisa, he was addressing there in Matebeleland, he was addressing people as Mthwakazi, and it seems that he really recognized that there is people in Matebeleland and Jolojo. I see as well. It was very, very, very nice. And Mashingo, I think I grew up in Blawayo, but I'm from Chiredzi, and yeah, it is very unfortunate that I grew up in Blawayo, and it was very amazing there, and it was very nice, respecting people, and I think this government of CCC to maintain peace and reconcile between Mashonaland and Matebeleland, and I see there's a big challenge there, and it needs international intervention, and I think it will be very great if we unite. And my last point is that those people who have connection with people, those who is in ZAP, I think there is a need of dialogue. I think if we manage to talk to these leaders of ZAP and come to other citizens and unite, I think we can have a great push, because our guns must point at ZANU-PF, all of us, so that we can have a big force to remove this giant Goliath on the throne. I thank you.
Thank you. I'll have anybody can go ahead and speak. I'm not going to take any more speakers. Closing comments from Washington, Ali.
Thank you, BK. I just want to thank everyone for coming on to the space tonight. And my hope is that when our leadership spoke, we have learned and we've taken their words wisely. I also want to say that anything and everything from unity, from love, begins with us. We have to start practicing it. And when we practice it, everyone else can see what we are doing and they follow suit. It comes from how we speak, how we behave ourselves, the mindset that we have. And I think that if we maintain, I think all the toxicity that has been embedded in us through our former leaders, ZANU-PF, would get out of our system without no doubt at all. Secondly, as the diaspora resource mobilization, we are looking for people to work with. I know we've been talking about this and not many people have been coming forth, but people talk a lot about saying, oh, we want to do something, If you're in diaspora, there's an opportunity to come and join our team and embrace our team so we can really work together and we can actually come as a big force. I know people talk on Twitters and tweet, but there's very little action when it comes to actually doing things. So I want to challenge people that are on this platform, people that are going to be listening to this recording, that the only way we can achieve the results that we want as a Zimbabwe, our country, we need to really take responsibility. We need to take ownership of that country. And if we do that together, united, I can tell you we can be talking of something different tomorrow, 23 and beyond. I hold my mic back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Washington, for that. And it's especially important, like Washington just said, that whatever toxicity was there in MTC, we need to leave it there. And it's going to be really difficult to do. And especially with social media and everything, everybody now has got a platform to say whatever comes into their mind. And hopefully still people will practice restraint, especially people with very powerful platforms. Then they need to be careful what they put out there, because it might come back and really bite the organization. Thank you very much. I think Citizen Ontario.
Yes, thank you so much, BK. Thank you for this. And what I'd like to say is, if there's anybody who in Toronto, who know anybody in Toronto, here in Ontario, we want people from Matabeleland to be in our structures. We want them in our executive. We want, like this new baby, we need people that we are going to put in our executive. I know after the elections, then we're gonna have, after these March elections, then we're gonna have meetings, and then we're gonna have we have to do elections and elect our leadership. So I am urging, if you know anybody, if there's anybody from there, they can DM me, let's talk, and then let's mobilize, and then let's start afresh. And we need people from my table in our structures. Right now in our executive, we only have the youth leader is the only one. So we are looking for people who are gonna come, be the chairperson, be the SG. Let's do the elections, and then we want them in our structure. Let's mobilize everybody. We know we have ZAPU here. We have gone to their barbecues. We support them because we have the same ideology as the CCC. So we have attended their barbecues and all that. But we want to unite and have and go fight ZANU PF together. So that's my parting words. But I would like to thank you again, BK. Ngiyabonga, siyabonga sibili, awenza umsebenzi omuhle, my brother. Kuyabongeka lokhu, kale kunjalo, and kumele si-encourage abantu bajoyine. Sizabe si-advertise, unga-advertise lapha, we spread it around. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ontario. And I think I followed you back, so we can always keep in touch. Thank you very much. I think I have CCC. I think Washington DC just spoke, so that's fine. I'll go to my co-host. Thank you very much for the awesome job you did today. Thank you. I appreciate you coming through. And of course, I know you've got a larger platform than mine, so I greatly appreciate the for making sure that our space was amplified. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, BK. It's always a pleasure when we come to do great work together. And indeed, like we always say, if you're in the diaspora and you are lost and you don't know what to do or how to participate, it's enough to send us a DM. BK is here. You can send him a DM, follow him, so that when he is having spaces or any other activity, he can also include you. The only way you can see information is when you follow someone. So follow each other. Your network is your net worth, as Mr. Washington always says. So definitely, I'm happy about today that we had our VP, that we had our honorable. I can see we had others like Mother Nyaradzai Gumondra, and people like Joseph, and the entire audience. We really thank you for coming to support this initiative. And I'm happy that we managed to cross the mark, the amount that we wanted to fundraise here. It might look like it's small, and we definitely need to do more. But since we achieved our goal, that's the most important thing, because we said 2,000 and we got more than that. And I think that's quite wonderful. So thank you so much, everyone. And BK, the work you have started, I hope 3 months down the line, 9 months down the line, we won't be looking all over for you, failing to know where BK went. this same energy that you have should continue over time, because after a certain period, many people's morale goes down, and they end up not participating as well as they used to do in the beginning. So sustain the energy into 2023 and even beyond. So thank you for that. And tomorrow is a National Day of Prayer. It's pronounced by the president, and we hope we are all going to participate in praying for our country. It's praying and fasting. Those who believe, can you pray and fast together with the rest of the team? Change Radio, we see you always supporting the programs. My mother Barbara, always here. Thank you so much. And I understand that there are other fundraisers that are going on. There's one where we are trying to raise something like 159,000 pounds. Then there is Citizens Action, where we are preparing for 2023, where we are fundraising something like $2.35 million. And there are various other fundraisers twinning everything. Find somewhere to contribute. At the end of the day, all the resources are going to end up helping the party, helping the movement. That's what I can say, BK. And thank you for being a great host. Let's meet again in the future as we host more events.
And thank you very much, Zwiko. I greatly appreciate you. And hopefully, guys, what we take from this space is if we come together, we put our heads together, we can get somewhere. But this is not going to be about money. The next time will be, okay, guys, let's share ideas. It's okay. It's definitely okay to contribute money to a cause, to donate money to a cause, but you want to see yourself being expressed, your interest being expressed with clarity in whatever you're donating to. Right now, CCC, they're still formulating, they're still finding their feet and everything, but we're getting the right signals from the rallies that have come through, from what Nelson Chamisa has said. For me, honestly speaking, I'm all about ZANU-PF getting out of power next year. If there are supposed to be other academic debates afterwards, yeah, but let's get ZANU-PF out of power next year. And then we can have an expanded democratic space in Zimbabwe. Because what it does is this. When you kick out the incumbent and you have another party coming in, the incumbent now is the official opposition. And the new ruling party that's taking over, they will have to make sure that they set up the institutions properly, because people have now tasted change. Not like the change in Mugabe to Mnangagwa. No, that's not change. That wasn't change. People were just mistaken. People were just euphoric over nothing. So when you have change, let's say CCC defeats ZANU next year, CCC now will be hard pressed to make sure that they deliver, because people in Zimbabwe have tasted change. It's going to be like in Zambia. Once in 1990, Kauda got defeated by Chiluba. What happened? There was, every now and then, there was change in the party, that's the ruling party. So Zimbabwe just need that one change of the ruling party, and then it will continue from there onwards. So I understand people will be like, what does CCC have to offer? No, CCC is not ZANU-PF. That's the major thing. Let's get ZANU-PF out of power. That should be our priority. And then once CCC is in power, we hold them accountable, and there'll be media freedom after that. That the judiciary will be now more independent, because the judiciary has already been appointed by ZANU-PF. So all those other institutions will have to keep our voices going, calling, make a clarion call that no, you're not doing this right. Just because CCC is now in power, Nelson Chamisa is in power, does not necessarily mean that you have to rest on your laurels, like to relax and be like, they're gonna fix everything. No, you go after them. Even NGOs, civil society, if ZANU-PF gets out of power, they'll be empowered again to feel like they have to operate in a new space under a new regime. So I know there are a lot of other people who feel affected or alienated from CCC, because, we all know that Zimbabwe is an intersection of misogyny, racism, homophobia, and tribalism. That's a fact about Zimbabwe. So you have got these interests, different people feel like, okay, they're not expressed in CCC or other opposition political parties. But for me, for change to start happening in Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF has to go. As long as ZANU-PF is in power, the status quo continues. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope to see you some other time. This space is actually recorded, so if you want to share it with people who are not there, please do so. And guys, stay kind and gentle. Stay kind and take care of yourselves. Thank you very much. And I see you there, Carlos. You didn't come through when I asked you to come through. May you please speak to our cousins and relatives, our nephews, whoever is still in Zim. Let's continue having these conversations with them. Some just get overwhelmed by the whole politics thing, but we definitely need everybody to come through. Thank you very much. You have a good night.
waiting for a new time, hoping for a new life, wishing better to come, praying better to come, waiting for a new day, waiting for a new time, hoping for a new life, wishing better to come.